everyone, Taylor here, and I kind of have my voice back a little bit today, which is really nice because I want to talk to you all about Call Me By Your Name. I finally got to see Call Me By Your Name yesterday because my theater finally has it, and you guys, this movie did not disappoint at all. This review is going to be very spoiler heavy, so if you haven't seen the movie and you want to see it without really knowing what happens, I would advise saving this review for later. Now, I'd like to start with the story. So, the story is about two men who are attracted to each other. Basically, that's the very basic what the story is about. Now, Elio is, I believe, 17 years old in this movie. And Oliver, Armie Hammer's character, I believe is 25. 24, 25, I think. So, Elio is... Elio goes on a very interesting journey of self-discovery in this movie in a lot of different ways. And I love that we see him navigating through what he feels and struggling with it and facing it and at times maybe trying to hide from it, but really just seeing his journey through this is kind of incredible because the way that it's handled as far as the way that his parents react and the way that Oliver reacts and just kind of the way that the perception of what happens is framed is great because it's never made into a big deal. Which is kind of crazy. Like, it's just a very real, raw story. And there's never like tragedy in it, and there's no big antagonist or anything. It's just a love story, and the only antagonist and the only tragedy is the heartbreak that comes out of it, which is amazing because it's not trying to take away from the fact that it's just a love story, that it's simply two people who feel something, feel very strong something for one another, and we get to see their journey. Now, I love the format that the story is told in because it feels put together very differently than what we're used to seeing. Now, I don't know if this is just me or I don't know, but the way that I saw it was the pacing was great because we just see a story play out how it would naturally play out. We see Elio and Oliver meet each other. We see them kind of trying to feel each other out, trying to get to know each other and gauge, who the other person is. And then we slowly start to see how their interactions change a little bit and how they kind of dance around each other. And it's all just very real interaction, which is fantastic. The dialogue is great because every word that is said holds so much meaning in it. You just get so much out of what these characters are thinking and feeling just with the words that they speak. They're all very weighted, which is it's kind of incredible. And on top of that, it's very unique dialogue because these characters are both just so, like the two main characters, Elio and Oliver, are just so interesting. They're both obviously very smart and very well educated, and they connect on the fact that they can speak intellectually about a lot of things, which is really awesome, especially with the age difference and the difference of origin and country of where they're from. And I love it. I do. I just love the way that they tease each other with intellectualism. That just made me happy. Like, for example, when Elio's playing the guitar and and Oliver asks him to play it again, and he goes to the piano and plays it several more times but changes it every single time based on how a different composer would alter it. And Oliver just, you can just tell that he's like, seriously, what? Like I think he's amused by it, but he's also like, what is this kid? Like, who even is this kid? But just things like that, where the way that they talk to each other is very unique, and they have a very unique understanding of each other that other people don't quite get, which is beautiful. Yeah, so that was wonderful, and I think that the way the story was pieced together was very effective, because we get the slow build of them naturally meeting and getting to know each other and feeling each other out. But then we get to a point in the story where it comes to a head and they have to address how they feel about each other. It just has to happen, because we see that Elio is really struggling with it, and you can kind of feel that Oliver is struggling with it, and that there are days when they talk to each other and it's great, and then there are days when they just can't or won't. And when it finally does happen, where they talk about it, at first, nothing is going to come of it, according to Oliver. And then it gets to a point where Elio basically just keeps talking to him, as he normally does, and Oliver just like, all right, I gotta kiss him, it's gotta happen. And then from there, it's just, oh my gosh, it's beautiful, because there starts to be those little stolen moments between them. And they just naturally work so well together. And even though Elio is younger and less experienced, it doesn't seem to matter, because he just feels so much, and Oliver appreciates that and is never condescending, and he teases him, but he's never cruel, and he's never lords it over him that he is younger and that he doesn't know what he's doing. He always is just there to comfort and make sure he's okay. And it's just such a non-toxic, wonderful dynamic that it was just, I don't know, guys. It was just beautiful to see. And then, yeah, the ending, the last 20 minutes of the movie kind of just destroyed me emotionally, because we see Oliver and Elio go away together for a few days and just get to spend a few days with each other. And it's heartbreaking, because you know that those are the last couple of days that they're gonna get to spend together, probably ever. And they both just have so much fun those days and are so full of life, and then the day comes where they have to say goodbye to each other, and Elio is wearing Oliver's shirt that he gave him. And that scene at the train station platform, where all they can do is just hug each other and hold each other as tightly as possible, and then just have to let go. Especially when the connection that they had was so pure. that hurt. And then that damn conversation that Elio has with his dad. Oh, I'm gonna cry just thinking about it. That was magnificent. That was magnificent. It was so powerful because you can tell that his dad loves him so much and just wants the best for him and doesn't want to overstep his bounds, but wants to be able to comfort his son. And the fact that he says, don't try and run away from this pain that you're feeling. Don't try to numb yourself, because if you numb yourself and you keep numbing yourself, you have less and less and less to give every single time afterward. Every relationship you go into after that, you have less of yourself that you'll be able to give. And it's true. It's so true, because when you don't let yourself feel pain and you don't allow yourself time to grieve and to heal and to really experience what you're feeling, it takes part of you away from you. And it's hard to get those parts back. And it's hard to give out parts of yourself when there's less to give. So that was incredible. And the fact that he makes sure that what he's saying is okay, that he can tell Elio that, hey, what you two had, your friendship, or more than that, was so special, and that he himself had never had anything like that, but came close, but wouldn't do it. That's just, it was just one of the most incredible father-son on-screen conversations I've ever seen, because it was so supportive and so non-judgmental and so real, and there was nothing but love in that conversation. And just their relationship through the whole movie was so wonderful and so beautiful, because it was always just such an easy relationship where he could talk to his dad. Just basically straight up was like, yeah, Dad, I almost had sex last night. So that's the thing. Like, I don't know. Just the fact that his relationship with his parents was so good. It was so good, and it wasn't, like I said, there was no judgment and there was no antagonism. It was just beautiful. And I was a freaking wreck. Especially after that last scene where we see Oliver call Elio, and clearly it's been a few years since they've seen each other. And he calls Elio to tell him that he's engaged and he's getting married. And seeing the look on his parents' face when they hear the news, and kind of hearing them kind of have their enthusiasm was a little bit fake. Because they know that Elio's heart is breaking hearing that. They know it. And it's such a bittersweet moment, because to me, it's like you kind of always knew that was going to happen. You knew that they weren't ever going to see each other again. You knew they weren't going to end up together. But getting that sense of closure almost for Elio, it was the perfect way to end that movie. But anyway, this video is getting pretty long, so I'll just touch on a couple more things. I really liked the music choice in the movie. I liked that there were only 2 songs that actually had words. The rest of it was just piano and orchestral music, which was perfect, I think, for the tone of the film, especially with Elio's connection to the piano and how that was used throughout the movie. So I thought that was beautiful. And I really felt that Armie Hammer and Timothée Chalamet both committed to these roles so much. You could just tell that the fact that they shot it in seclusion in Italy, away from all the crazy places where filming usually happens, and they just got that time to be together, it really paid off because you could just feel it. You could feel their chemistry. Which you could feel how comfortable they were with each other filming a lot of these scenes. And I don't think the film would have worked without that. I really don't. So, yeah, that was great. And I really liked that they also explored Elio's attraction toward women. That him and, is it Marcia? I think her name was Marcia. But how he explored his attraction to her, and how they explored what their relationship was, because the attraction can be whatever it is. It can be to men, it can be to women, it can be to both, it could be to neither, it could be so many things. And just the fact that he was allowed to just be in this movie. He was allowed to be young and allowed to explore and allowed to try and figure himself out and figure out what he was feeling and what he wanted, and really just was free to be okay with himself and be okay with what he wanted. And I loved that. I really, really kind of can't believe that we got that out of a movie. But yeah, the performances in this movie were out of this world. The way that it was cut together was beautiful, and I think the pacing was perfect for the story that they were trying to tell. And yeah, I really don't have anything bad to say about this movie. There was comedy in it, and there were dramatic moments, and there were moments that made me cry, and there were moments that were just real, and I loved it, you guys. I really did. I was not disappointed at all, and I definitely I'm going to be putting this on my top 10 list. This is the reason that my top 10 movies of 2017 list hasn't come out yet, because I wanted to see this and a couple of other movies before I finalized my list. But wow, yeah, anyway, so let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'd like to hear your opinions on this movie. There's probably a lot of stuff I left out, and stuff that I talked to for too long, and just, yeah, I feel like this review is kind of a mess. But anyway, it's getting long. I don't want to talk about this for more than 20 minutes, because you guys probably don't want to see me talk about this for like an hour. So I'm just going to cut it off there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit that like button down there if you enjoyed your time here. There's also a subscribe button and a bell notification button if you want to get updated on when I post new things. All of my links are down in the description, my Stardust account, my Patreon account, all my social media links. Please check those out. And as always, I will see you guys soon.